Alright, so welcome everyone. Today we will be learning active and passive voice in its simple future tense. Okay. Now, in simple future tense, any action that is going to happen in the future time is considered to be, is defined as a simple future tense. Okay. And as we know, the definition of simple future tense is that it is also known as future indefinite tense. Time sense is not exact. Time sense is not definite. Okay, that is why the other name for simple future tense is future indefinite tense also. Okay, anyways, we will be using the term simple future tense here. Okay. Okay, so let us very quickly learn the formulas. Number one, object plus okay, we will not use is, am, are, was, were, nothing. Okay, it will be be. Okay, will plus be. Okay, and the first sentence ends with a full stop. I'm sorry, the first rule ends with a full stop because the first rule is for assertive sentence. Second rule, okay, question starting with, now you can use either will or shall, but I'm using only will. Okay, I'm using only will. You can use shall also. You can use shall also. Okay, you can use shall also, but it is better if you use only one, either will or shall. Okay, will is perfect, but I'm putting both options in case if you have options. So any sentence that is being asked with will or shall, then you will have to begin that sentence with either will or shall. We'll be learning in examples. Let us write the rules first very quickly. Okay, will plus object plus be plus verb third form plus by plus subject and then a question mark. Okay, then the next sentence is with interrogative word. Interrogative word and then will or shall. Okay, or shall. And then object and then be and then third form of the verb and then by, and then subject, and then question mark. Rule number 4, again in the same manner, who. This rule is quite similar here. Okay, who is always by whom. Okay, by whom, and then will or shall, and then object, and then be, and then verb third form, and then as I told you, because we have already used by here, so here we have to use one of the 4 prepositions. Okay, plus subject. Okay, and then whom equal to who plus will or shall, and then object, and then be, and then third form of the verb, then by, and then alright, so who, and then will or shall, and then object, and then be, and then third form of the verb, and then by, and then subject, followed by question mark. So only the first rule is in assertive form, and the rest of the rules are all interrogative sentences. Okay, so we shall try to apply these rules in the examples below. Okay, so we will try to apply these rules in the examples below. I'll give you a minute. You can see the rules. Okay, you can see the rules, and the same thing will be uploaded in the YouTube channel also. Alright, let us do some examples. Okay, let us do some examples. So we will go according to the formula systematically. So boys will fly kites in the playground. Now if you notice this sentence, you will see that there are actually 2 objects. Okay, boys will fly what? When you ask what, you immediately get the direct object. Okay, boys will play what? The boys will fly kites. Okay, boys will fly what? They will fly kites. So when you ask what, okay, the answer that you get becomes the object actually. Okay, so boys will fly kites. Now where will they fly becomes your indirect object, becomes your second object. Second object is after the first object, whatever you have is all your second object, indirect object. Remember, in voice change, what happens is that this is your direct object, kites is your direct object, okay, and this direct object only we will take in the beginning, and whatever remains after the direct object, extra, all comes under your second object, your indirect object, okay. Now, since kites is the direct object, so we have to take kites, okay. Look at the first formula, object plus will or shall, we will take will, because you have will in the sentence, so we will take will, okay. The kites will, and then what do you have? You have be here, so will be, so kites will be, and then third form of the verb, fly, flew, flown, flown, so kites will be flown. Now what you do is that, now where will you put this? This is the biggest question, okay. Now had there been no second object, say for example I delete it, okay, I delete it, now there is no second object, the kites will be flown and then by boys, and then your answer is over. But then no, we have this extra in the playground. What will you do with this? As I told you earlier also, okay, in your previous parts, in the previous parts of voice change exercises, part 1 till part 7, if you watch very carefully, you will see that I have often commented there that second object or indirect object you put after the third form of the verb in your answer, okay. So kites will be flown, after the verb you put the second object in the playground, okay. The kites will be flown, after the verb you put the second object in the playground, and then by, and then boys, okay. Did you understand? I'll just explain once again. Kites, first object, direct object, okay. Direct object is kites, so we bring direct object in the beginning, and then will plus be plus third form of the verb, and immediately after third form of the verb we will put the entire indirect object, second object, okay, entire indirect object, the second object in the playground, okay. And then as the formula goes, by plus subject, so after the second object by plus subject, okay. Then example number 2, formula number 2, will she draw a picture, okay. Here we do not have two objects, we have only one object, one subject, she, who is doing the action of drawing the picture. And drawing what? I told you, when you ask what, you already get the first object, the direct object, okay. So we have one object here, she is drawing what? Picture, okay. So we take a picture as second object, I'm sorry, we take a picture as the first object. Obviously we have one object here, okay. Will she draw a picture? So since this sentence has been asked with the help of will, okay, and if you go to the second formula, you see that if a question is asked with will or shall, then you will have to begin that answer again with will or shall only. So since there is will here, so we will begin this sentence with will, okay. And then object is a picture, will a picture, and then what do you have in the formula? Will a picture be, and then third form of the verb. So will a picture be, third form is draw, second form drew, drew, and third form is drawn, drawn. Will a picture be drawn by, and I told you in the earlier classes also, he becomes him, she becomes her. Will a picture be drawn by her, okay. I hope you have understood. Then we will move on with example number 3. Example number 3 and formula number 3, if any question in the active voice starts with an interrogative word, okay. So if I give an example, when will he eat food? Okay, when will he eat food? So your, because the sentence is beginning with when, okay, because the sentence is beginning with when, this is an interrogative word, so your answer has to begin with an interrogative word. So you begin your answer with, answer means you begin the passive voice. We are doing active to passive voice, not passive to active. Okay, so in passive voice your answer is when, and then after interrogative word your will, when will, when will or shall, so we have will, we will put will, and then object. Object is what? Object is food. What is he eating? He is eating what? He is the subject doing the action of eating. Eating what? I told you, when you say what, you get the answer. Eating what? Food. So food is the object. So when will food? And then according to the formula, after object you have be. So when will food be? Okay, and then third form of the verb. Okay, here third form of the verb, when will food be? Eat, ate, eaten. Eaten is the third form of the verb. Okay, so when will food be eaten? By, and we did in the previous sentence, she becomes her, so he becomes him. When will food be eaten by? Him. Okay, and then next example is with who. So if there is who, if I give a sentence with who, who will pay your fine? Okay, so who will pay your fine? And then if there is who, we begin the sentence with by whom. So by whom, and then will, by whom will. Okay, then object. In this sentence object is who will pay what? Fine. Okay, so fine is the object, so we take your fine. Whose fine? Your fine. Okay, so who, by whom will, object is your fine. By whom will your fine? After object we have be. By whom will your fine be? And then verb third form. So verb here is pay. So pay becomes, pay becomes, pay becomes what? By whom will your fine be paid? It is not PAYED, it is PAID. Okay, by whom will your fine be paid? Now why did I put question mark here? Why did I put question mark? Because after verb there is subject, but in this sentence if you notice there is no subject. We know somebody will pay the fine, but that somebody is not mentioned in the sentence. Generally sentences with who, sentences starting with who generally do not have a subject, it only has an object. Okay, so in this sentence we do not have a subject, and I told you if you do not have subject, no problem. Okay, no problem, no need to continue with the formula. We will stop right after the verb because we do not have subject. So when we do not have subject, there is no use of with, at, in, to. In fact, in sentences, for example interrogative sentence, there is no subject. So if there is no subject, we will not use by also. By also will get deleted and we will stop after the verb. Okay, so this is the system. Anyways, last number is number 5. Sentences beginning with whom. So whom will you meet there? Okay, and your answer will be whom is, we start with who will, who will. Okay, we do not have direct object, so we will jump on to B. We will jump on to B. Okay, so we will jump on to B. Who will be? Okay, who will be, and then verb third form. We do not have subject, so we will jump on to the verb. So who will be, meet becomes met. Okay, and then as I told you that any indirect object, there is an indirect object. We have done sentences with there. All right, so who will be met there? Okay, as I told you in this sentence also, that after the, if you see example number 1, okay, we have two objects. One is kites, another is in the playground, and I told you that one is a direct object and in the playground is indirect object. So I told you that indirect object in the playground we will put after the verb in the passive voice in your answer. Okay, so indirect object has come here. So in the same manner here also, if you notice the sentence, there is no direct object, there is indirect object, similar to in the playground. In the playground here is indirect object. Okay, and there, here this word there is also an indirect object. Okay, so every indirect object has to be placed after the verb. So in the similar way we are putting there after the verb is met here, third form of the verb is met, and then we put indirect object because there is no direct object. No direct object, we do not have direct object here. Okay, we do not have direct object. So who will be met there? So we have subject is you, so who will be met there by, subject is you, who will be met there by you. Okay, who will be met there by you, and then we close with a question mark. All right, so this is it. Okay, we have done the examples with the help of the formulas, and we have gone systematically 1 2 3 4 5. If you see here also, example number 1 matches with your formula number 1, then formula number 2 matches with example number 2, and then 3 with 3, 4 with 4. So we have gone systematically so that you can understand better. Okay, so that you can understand better. So I hope all of you have understood very well. Okay, all right, so that's all for today. I hope all of you have understood the lesson very well. uh, Today we have learned simple future tense. Okay, and in the next class we will learn another topic on future tense, active and passive voice. So you can watch the videos again and again, you can share the videos with your friends. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you so much.